Hello guys, so a quick recap of last week and new prediction for next week. We start with the S&P 500 SPY ETF. You know what, let's clear up this Fibonacci extension. So our prediction was that we probably gonna see a small pullback, but the momentum is for the upside. So probably we're gonna see an attempt to break the all-time high, and we did. We broke it last week, and this is good. But keep in mind that now we kind of see a small divergence, but it didn't finish yet. So will we see a continuation of the break or a pullback? Let's go for the let's draw the Fibonacci extension. So I try to be accurate. I think I missed it. Press it twice, sorry. So from here to the top and there for the pullback. So the weekly 488, this is the 100% extension. Could probably make it a little bit more accurate, 488. So now let's go for the daily, and what we see there, this is the weekly. All right, someplace like here, 488, and here we see the divergence coming from this place. This is the top, this is the eye, and I think we saw this one, the top for the breaking, and it closed above. So next extension is the 488. It seems reasonable to think that the market can push with a nice momentum. You can see the volume going up. This in extreme volume. This is a nice volume coming in. Could see a continuation for the 488, 489. You can see the weekly and the daily almost agree where is the key target. This is interesting. If we go on the wall chart, we could see here that the prediction was after the pullback, we're gonna see an attempt to pull back again, but probably the buyers will come, and you can see it here how they came. It's break below and immediately push up, gap up with continuation, close the gap, and continue higher. So no gap left and breaking a new all-time high, which is great. We saw the momentum on the zero, so we knew that gonna be a fight and be very careful with it. Momentum was a little bit negative and didn't create any divergence to give us a sign if it want to break to the downside. So we had, if we go to the 1 hour chart, we had basically, I think, yes, it was here. If we break below the 475, 476, 475, breaking below, going for the downside for retest. And if breaking above the 478, 477, going for above to take all-time high. So basically we had two keys. We got the pullback, nice pullback, and then immediately run to the upside with a nice volume. So what we gonna see this week? Basically, it's a blue sky because you don't have any sellers from up above to prevent the market to continue higher. So only what you have is the buyer, which are in a big profit and want to take some profit. So if they are afraid or something happen, they can immediately, all of them, all at once, get in the market, sell, and you gonna get a big sell-off, which the short sellers will enter. But short sellers don't like this blue sky because they are basically alone. So they will wait for a confirmation and a big momentum for the downside to enter. So far this is buyer's market. Any pullback immediately get bought. They're gonna average till they decided they had enough. We can see that the momentum is very weakening, even though you can see the volume coming up and creating higher highs. You can see momentum is going down, weakening. So eventually we're gonna see a pullback, but it will be just a pullback. So this is a buyer's market. Careful from it. If we are checking the 1 hour chart, you can see it's an extreme. It's an overbought. So probably all the indicators showing between extreme greed or to greed, which means that we need to see a nice pullback at the moment. It's safe to say that any pullback get bought. So even if it break again the 480 for a retest, buyer will try to retest. So far, don't go against the market and against the trend. Do I see the sellers? Not yet. Let me check something here. No, at the S&P, the sellers came at the 475, but wasn't that strong, and the buyer won. So at the moment, next target, I think we see it on the Fibonacci extension. Let me check again here. Is probably gonna touch the 484, and maybe next the 488, 489. As we saw earlier. So I could see it the 484, and next target is the 488. So probably here, retest and trying to come back there. So this is it for the SPY. Qs basically did the same. No, I don't have it here. So Qs did the same. If we draw the Fibonacci extension here, there, and here, you're gonna see it broke it. And next target 425, 426. This is the extension. So nothing much to say. Let me check something. So could reach to the 428 maybe even. At the moment, it's in a zone. You can see the volume coming in, and you can see it. This is what I was afraid of. It started to create divergence for a pullback, but it didn't confirm yet. So it can push a little bit higher and then weaken. And if it crosses below, it will make a lower high while making here higher high. So this will be a pullback. Not a flash down, but just a pullback. So it's need another big candle maybe just to clear the divergence. This is 99.40. This is let's say 80. Usually when it hits the 99.40, 99.70, it will create some few red candle to release some pressure, but this is the zone at the moment. No big gaps. You can see it here. Pull. If we watch it on the 1 hour chart, the same went here. If we see a close below the 408 coming for the downside, close below the 410. And this was interesting because not like the SPY, it did close above. So if people enter, it immediately tried to shake them out, take out the stop losses. You can see it didn't cross below here. So it took out those stop losses and immediately coming back to the high. So a lot of people are in FOMO, which was good. The SPY didn't do so. It didn't manage to break, give an entry. So the Qs give us a signal that it wants to break to the upside, and you can see the big volume coming in. So taking up a lot of stop losses here and immediately coming up to the to breaking all-time high again, which was very nice. At the moment, you can see it's still hovering at an oversold area. Very, you can say there is a gap here, but you can see a big volume coming. If we, let's clear it up. If we check it here, you can see it moving down. So the buyers holding, creating divergence, small one, and then pushing for the upside, big volume. Momentum is started to be a positive, small divergence for continuation. So far continuation. This is it. Let's go for Tesla. So this is, you know what? Let's go for IWM. The Russell did interesting thing. You know what? Let's make it smaller. You know, let's make it on the weekly. And this is very unique. Usually, it rarely happens because you can see that the Russell isn't participating in the run for the upside. It didn't break all-time high, and it basically very weak compared to the Qs and compared to the S&P. Remember that 30% of the S&P value is the Magnificent Seven. So what does it tell us about the market? It did a break, and I was afraid from the break, and we get confirmation that this is a false break. Now, usually people like the Wyckoff distribution accumulation. I don't like it much, but you can see it as a UTAD and coming back to the downside. And if it breaks it here, what does it tell us? A break, retest, and moving for the downside. This is a break of the market, because if it will happen, and I don't think yet, it is a red big sign. Even though we can see a big volume coming in this area, you can see it here, you can see it here, big volume coming in this area, and you can see it here, big volume coming in this area. So we have 1, 2, let's say 3. This is the average. So basically the 200, this is the average. So if it will rest, I want to see the buyers coming in. So far we have a nice weekly candle. So if it close above, continue maybe higher, but this could be interesting. Let's go for, we don't have any sign of a break. So this is 97, 98, 15. This is 98.40. Not that good. So this is making lower high. This is making higher highs. Doesn't look that good. But you can see it didn't manage to break. So this is the low, making lower high, making new lower low, small one, and stay in this frame for a little bit, making the break, taking out all the stop losses, and immediately push for the upside, like the Qs. Taking out all the stop losses and pushing up, but immediately sellers came. So it needs to try to take out all the sellers in the 200 and then try for a break. So it could mean that we probably gonna see the Russell struggling and then manage to break for the upside. So a key zone is the 200, EMA, the 182. We basically caught it right, and we saw the movement. Here we saw the bouncing on the 188, and we got it. It pushed to the 188 and get the bounce, and we knew that every pullback will create divergence, and it did. So this is a good sign for the push for the upside. So I'm bullish so far, but be very careful around the 200 to check what it does. Something on the 1 hour chart to see. Nothing much. Support, resistance, dynamics resistance here. A little bit break above, continuation, retest, and moving for the upside. If it fails, not that good. If we check it here, This doesn't seem that good, so buyers need to step in immediately, because you can see this is a move for the upside. I know this is hourly small time frame, not for investors, and basically it's kind of break. You can see it here, it changed colors. This is a break of trend, so it could push a little bit up, closing the gap, retest, and then push for the downside. So if you have both side of and you can see it here, this is moving up and this is moving down. So this is like more short continuation, which is struggling, not that good in the small time frame. So it's more for the, could be for the move for a little bit for the upside, reject, and then trying to break the 200. It needs to accumulate more power in order to break the 200. Let's move on for Tesla. With Tesla, we wanted to wait on the 215. We got it, got the break, immediately pushed for the upside, and we knew it's going to be a pullback. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit, yeah, you can hear it. So our key target for the pullback was 215. It broke a little bit below, coming back again, push for the upside and continue for the 210. And we saw that if we're gonna see a break below it and close below the 215, which we had here, it can continue for the 188. So I'm not that positive about Tesla. I think it's need to, they have their reports this week, maybe Wednesday, I think. So far, bearish about Tesla. Don't see any positive. You can see it won't probably bounce again on the 200. Literally $200 and the 200 EMA. Want to retest it, which can be a good, not that good move for Tesla. So not that much gaps from below, maybe here, down here. So I'm waiting at the 188 to see how it looks. You can see even if it was green, it ended bearish. So yeah, and it's in a deep oversold, so maybe we're gonna see the buyer stepping in, trying to average down the prices, but so far not that good. If I don't know if you can call it the distribution, because this is lower high, lower high, lower highs. So next key, if it breaks, it could mean lower high continuation for here for the 172. So not that good for Tesla. It needs something to happen. So even if it will be green, I'm still negative. So be very careful about it. Let's go for Apple. Apple, not like the market all-time high. It did the pullback, it did the retest, it managed to jump. You can see the big gap here. Not that good for Apple. And what happened there? Let's make it bigger. This is 80, let's say 82. This is 70, 78. So the already divergence, which means that this is lower high and this is higher high. So short continuation. Will we get, let's check the Fibonacci and see what we gonna have here. So it 192, and I think this was our call for a key exit, and didn't touch it quite yet, almost. But if it managed to break it and reach to the 195, this will be a good green sign for continuation. But if it will be red, it could mean that, let me show you, something like this can happen. Reaching, coming back here, targeting here, and this is the zones. Not that good. So far, and you can see why there is no volume in Apple. It managed to almost close the gap, maybe even close it. Yes, it managed to close the gap. Where is the volume? I don't see the volume coming in. I see here the gaps and enthusiasm with the big gaps. Let's check it on the 4-hour chart. You can see it negative. We saw it. We knew it could above this one, above the 183, can move for the downside for the break of the 180. It didn't, which was good, and it immediately opened with a gap up and continue high. So it started to give us a sign of a bull run, which is good. Momentum trying to be positive, didn't cross the zero. But again, let me check here, 96. I think this is above. No, not above. Again, not that good. So we see again something like this. This is a higher high and this is a lower high. Not that good, guys. So I'll be paying attention to the move. It seems positive, but be very careful because we can see the break of the trend. You can see it negative here. So this is the retest. If it opened with a gap down or in the pre-market with a red, it could start to pull lower, and you can see the volume there, which is good. Oh, sorry. You can see a nice volume coming at the end of the session, nice volume coming at the end of the session, holding it. Would be very interesting, but a little bit suspicious about the downside. So far, it's for the upside. You have the sign for the pullback. At the moment, I'm started to be suspicious. Apple, Nvidia, 600, baby, almost 600. I know. I was telling that even if I see the break above the 500, even in 550, I won't join. And sometimes it won't give you a pullback. Just this is a blue sky. This is mean. Any pullback immediately get bought. Any pullback immediately get bought. Any pullback immediately get bought. And going for the 600. So this is just a round number. Nothing from above. Extreme overbought. Nothing to say here. Just don't short it, guys. Not yet. You don't have any indication for a short. Basically, you don't have any indication for going long. I see momentum started to weakening, so be very careful about it. Can it continue? Yes, it can continue, but be very careful about it. You can remember BA what it did. It just moved along. Any pullback got bought, any pullback got bought, any pullback got bought, and move on. Basically, leaving on the short sellers closing their small position. This is the reason why you see small volume, taking out. You can see it big volume because there was taking them out, and then no volume at the end of the session. So nice for Nvidia, not so nice about the short sellers opening position about it. mRNA, another good call. We saw it here making a flag, but we see the break. We had a sign here, a sign there. It didn't manage to break above, it managed to break below. So going for the support, you can see no volume still creating the divergence, didn't break it yet. So probably above this candle, it will push again to read for the retest. And if it managed to break, something like this can happen for I'm going for the 180. I'm still not on it, but for my prediction, I'm going for the 180. It started to be a little bit positive here. You can see nice volume coming in. So, but be very careful. It's very mRNA known for its spiking up and take out, spiking down and take out, and then move forward. It's doing its move. Started to be negative a little bit, but still the buyers are holding it. So wait and see what it does. It can still continue if we take, you know what, let's take from this low to this high. You have the at 95, you have the 88, and it still can moving for the downside and resting on those Fibonacci, bringing more buys. So be very careful about it. Just give you, I don't know, a key zone. You can watch it on the bounce here. Still a little bit positive. Did it create divergence? It broke the divergence here, but there is a divergence. So if we take it from here to there, so it's resting on the 99. Can you see it? 94. So why not to touch the 94 and from there coming up would be very interesting. BA, amazing. This is what can happen with Nvidia. Any pullback get bought, any pullback get bought, any pullback get bought, and moving until you can see the distribution. Be very careful. UTAD breaking and closing below, and then pushing and creating support here and resistance and moving down. This is a big. You can see the volume coming in. Everyone trying to take out with a big move. And yes, it's still continue lower and break for the 200. We saw the break for closing the gap here. I think it's already. But now what we have, a big divergence for continuation. So any move for the upside will meet the sellers again. The sellers are in control in this position. So be very careful about it. If we check it in on the daily, you see there is a lots of gaps, guys, because of what happened, and it's, I don't know, doesn't matter what happened. I'm looking at the chart, so if you take it up from here, almost touch, you can see it here, and if it managed to break here, it's going down. So this is the main reason why the buyers came. They didn't want to retest the 197, and this is a round number, the 200. There still has a gap here which didn't close. So you can try to move up, but this is a bearish move. In the longer term, you can see it here. This is a divergence for the upside. So there is a divergence between the divergences. At the longer term, it seems a little bit positive, but I would wait for this kind of move and then trying to enter, if it managed to do something like this, trying to enter in this position maybe. After it did it here, and then moving for the upside, because there is a divergence there. You can see it here. It needs to break it and stay above, and to be very strong in order to push above the 230. This is BA. Let's move for the gold. So far the gold and the silver sideways move. You can see it here. We saw the negativity in the gold. Silver didn't do much, so I didn't. You can see it moving up, and then we saw it move a little bit down, so it's resting nowhere zone. I'm for the longer term, I'm more positive about the gold, but you can see it here. Most sellers coming in each scenario. I don't know. I know what to tell. Started to be negative here, creating divergence. So if it managed to cross, no, it didn't. So if it crossed below here, continuation for the downside at the moment. If not, continuation for the upside. If we look at the silvers a little bit, silver used to give me heads up, but not so as for now. So far can give me a sign for moving for the upside. And I know because the 2050 is a nice buy zone. You can see it here, buy zone, buy zone, buy zone, buy zone. So lots of people like to buy it on the 2050. If you can check it here, you can see it here. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Break it, coming back up. Break it again, coming back up. Touching almost, and here could be very interesting to see this pattern. If you look it up, so above this one, moving for the upside. So I'm positive about silver and gold, but not at the moment. I don't have any indication for the move for the upside. Move for Oxy. Oxy was a little bit, I don't know, because I got, let me show you. It's moved for the downside. Let me show you here what happened. It created, I don't know, at the pre-market, immediately spike up and immediately got rejected. But in other platform, I saw a move. I saw this move for the upside, and I saw a move from the downside from the 52, 53. So I don't know if it is right, if it's wrong. I don't know if it's a glitch. So basically it touched my target, not on this indicator, but it seems that it wants to attack the 56, the 55, holding it, trying to break the 55, because if it break, it will touch, and maybe we'll try to see what it want to do. So far I'm negative about it. So we have momentum is negative. You can see the trend is moving for the downside. If we check it on the 1 hour chart, again, trend is down, trying to build up here, shoulder, head, shoulder, to break above the 56.70 for moving for the upside. Let me see, no divergences in the small time frame. So even if it will break, this is the dynamic resistance, so I will wait for it. So far it seems that it's negative, so down, 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 trying to break. This is a good area for buyers to accumulate and trying to move for the upside. But at the moment, this is why I'm not that positive, because if I'm taking it, you can see it break the 76, so it seems negative, so the momentum and the trend is down. So we did the IWM, so let's finish up with the SPY. So far, this is what worries me. Tesla for the down, Apple can be both sides, but a little bit negative about it. Nvidia is strong, probably AMD is strong, BA is negative. So mRNA could be positive, but seems that both ways. Gold, nowhere zones, silver's on a buy position, Oxy, the oil in a sell position, but needs some good stuff to move for the upside. So far, what's moving the S&P higher? The Russell is negative, started to be positive, but very delay after the S&P and the Qs. And this is very rare scenarios where the SPY and the Qs are on all-time high and the IWM is lagging far back behind. So this is what worries me. This is why I didn't join the IWM, even though some people on YouTube say that you should buy it because it should close the leg, maybe, but not at the moment. So this is what worries me. In a longer term, it could be a fake break, and I don't like to trade breaks, and this is a break. So if we go for, this is the daily, let's move on for the weekly, and you can see the breaks. What happens if we get red? It will be a false break. So be very careful about it. This is a big move for the upside. Yes, on Fibonacci level we get on the Qs and in the SPY the 488. So can be continuation, and which will be good. And if so, so far follow the trend. We don't have indication for going down. On several stocks we have, even if they are big. Take small. For me, I would take small position, small risk, small stop losses, because it could be shaky. And I don't know, maybe the market can go sideways, resting. So this is it, guys. I hope you like the key levels and what I gave you here. Hope it will help. If you like it, please subscribe. Give a thumbs up and likes, and see you guys later. Thank you.